Hello YouTube, this is Alone, coach of the FC Seviper 04, bringing you our draft recap for the JBA Season 2. And here, as you remember, last season we were really close to making it to the playoffs, but thanks to a 4-match losing streak, even though with 2 wins in the end we didn't make it. And this time, instead of just 7 matches, we will have to do 10 because we had a big expansion. Now 12 teams are in this league, so of course for the draft the risk of getting sniped was so much bigger. And before I come to my actual draft recap, I'll tell you something about the draft, because it was pretty much like this on my side.
Were you rushing or were you dragging? Answer!
Well, it's a slow draft, so I was on the perfect tempo. If you want to hurl a chair on someone, do it on somebody else. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, slow draft was announced and we made it through in like a little bit more than 2 days, even though it was scheduled for a week. Yeah, so we pretty much rushed through, and here's my team, and instead of doing it like in draft order, this time I will present this in the actual tier order. And you know, the JBA, really special, kind of special format with a JBA like tier system, but with 6 tiers, so you can actually draft more lower tier mons, which again, I really like this. So up first, our Mega, also our first pick, Mega Gardevoir. I think at least one time you have in the league history you have to use Mega Gardevoir. Hyper Voice is just so good. One of the best fairy types in the game, probably. Can just click Hyper Voice every match, can bring it every match, and it actually does work. So Mega Gardevoir, this time our Mega of choice. As you know, in our PFL draft we have regular Gardevoir, so both parts of this family are now covered. Up next, also our second pick in tier 1 was Scizor. And Scizor, right off the bat, we had Mega Gardevoir to hit hard on the special side. Now we needed something that can hit hard on the physical side, and I personally think Scizor is one of the best mons for this. It's bulky too, it can learn Defog, even though I'm not the biggest fan of Defog, I always prefer Rapid Spin. Yeah. Then one of our last picks, but also another tier 1 pick that we could afford with the points we had, is Infernape. Infernape, I think in the end the fastest mon in our draft, so we needed a fire type also, needed a fighting type, and Infernape, so good, it can set up rocks and it can hit hard on both the special and the physical side. So the first part of our Fairy Dragon Steel Core is already made, and also the first part of our Fire Water Grass Core. Up next, our only tier 2 pick is Mandibuzz, which was our third pick, and mainly after getting Mega Gardevoir and Scizor, now we needed some really dedicated bulk, and as you know, Mandibuzz is one of the best there. We have another Defog user, another knockoff user, but really bulky, ground resists, a psychic resist. Mandibuzz should work really good with our team. Then up next, our kind of favorite tier in this type of format, tier 3. And like last season, we have 3 picks here. The first pick was Dawnfan. So we get our ground type, we get in this order we got our first Stealth Rock setter. We also got a real reliable rapid spinner, really physical bulk, also physical power, really good earthquakes. We can expect that from Dawnfan, Priority and Ice Shard. Dawnfan overall a really good Pokemon. I wanted to use it so long in the Draft League format and now in my 4th season. It is finally here. Then our second tier 3 pick, completing our Fairy Dragon Steel Core, was Haxorus. And I was debating getting my dragon from tier 4 with either Noivern, Dragon or Flygon. In the end we got Haxorus since it still was free, was not drafted, and Haxorus is a lot of power. Still one of the faster mons in our draft, one of the better setup mons definitely. We get access to Mold Breaker. Dragons are just too powerful to not have one on, at least one on your draft. Then our last tier 3 pick, really late, when we didn't have a grass type. I originally planned with Whimsicott, again like in the PFL. This time it wasn't sniped, I just decided against it since we already had Mega Gardevoir as our fairy, and I needed to get in my dragon type with Haxorus. So we needed another grass type that can work in more than one way, and yeah, I decided Shaymin is still free. Let's just take Shaymin, one of the mythical Pokemon, base 100 on all stats, powerful stab and Siege Flare, and this time we have actually access to Aromatherapy, not like last season when we had Blossom, which for some reason cannot learn Aromatherapy. Yeah, Shaymin, my grass type of choice here. At this point completing our Fire Water Grass Core, which I will now complete with my tier 4 pick, Gastrodon. I know we already have a ground type in Dawnfan, but I thought I needed a bulky water type, and Gastrodon is still free. It gets reliable recovery. Unfortunately no Stealth Rocks, but we have enough Stealth Rock users. One is about to come. Anyway, and Gastrodon just only one weakness in grass, and we had Scizor, we were about to draft Infernape, we had Mandibuzz, Haxorus, Shaymin, so a lot of grass resistance already. So Gastrodon is not in this great danger. And overall I thought Gastrodon might fit our team pretty good, completing our Fire Water Grass Core. Then our only tier 5 pick was that I needed another Stealth Rock setter that can deal with magic bounces, and it is not weak to water or grass like Dawnfan. And here the perfect choice was Pinsir. Not only has it an amazing attack stat and really good coverage and stuff like access to close combat, priority and quick attack, rock type moves, everything, pretty much everything you want. And also it has the power of setting rocks or even using Toxic against magic bounces thanks to Mold Breaker. And since in most drafts stuff like Espeon, Mega Sableye, Mega DMC are a thing, I needed someone like Pinsir to set up my rocks or even give status to our opponent whenever we want, and Mold Breaker actually allows that. We also can go Moxie, getting nice attack boosts, and even Hyper Cutter if we want to avoid Intimidate. So then, only our tier 6 mons are left. Like last season I wanted to use this extra tier as much as I can, since I really like the thought to give the lower tier mons more chances. And as you see, we don't have an electric type yet, and at first I was thinking about not drafting Infernape, drafting Zapdos instead. This decision was taken from us since Zapdos got kind of sniped there from another team. Then I thought, okay, I'll draft Infernape and get my electric type from tier 6. First choice was Electabuzz, and basically the same route I wanted to draft Electabuzz. Like 5 picks before me, it got sniped too. And the remaining electric types in tier 6, except for one, they weren't so great. Like there was a lot of fast ones still left, like Plusle, Minun, Electrode, Emolga and Dedenne, but they don't have really power in their attacking stats, neither physical nor special. So I decided, okay, I get a little slower electric type, but at least one that can deal a lot of damage every time it comes in and every time it gets the chance to attack. So our electric type of choice here is Luxray. As I said, really powerful. In his attacking stats, 120 base attack and even 95 base special attack. So if we want to run a special Luxray, I think we're free there. Of course, only 70 base speed. Our team is not so fast at all. But if we get a chance to attack with Luxray, it will show that it was definitely a better choice than stuff like Electrode or Emolga or Plusle. And we even get access to really good abilities. Of course, not really rivalry, but we can choose between either Intimidate to lower our opponent's attack stats, slowing down his offense, or using Guts right off the bat and deal even more damage on absorb statuses. Of course we cannot get paralyzed, but getting toxic, getting burned, we have a member of choice that can take all of this now in our Guts Luxray, and with 120 base attack even gets stronger just by Guts. This would be really nice. And our last pick, our last pick was Infernape, because I was sure that he cannot get sniped from us, since all the teams that could afford it already had a good fire type. So our last pick in the draft overall was Infernape. But our last pick here, our second pick from tier 6, I decided, yeah, I have 3 drafts behind me now and I never drafted something like a mascot, which in my case is either Seviper for my team mascot or Bayonet as my personal mascot. And I thought I don't really need Seviper. I really want a ghost type this time, and so I decided to get the mascot pick in Bayonet as our ghost type. It still has really good attack stat with 115 base attack. Access to priority stuff like Sucker Punch and Shadow Sneak, even 84 base special attack. Overall, it's of course it's a little frail. It's not so fast, but yeah, it's a mascot pick. I don't have to bring it every single week. So that is our team. Just like our PFL team, kind of weak to ground and ice, but I think this time we dealt with that a little bit better. And again, also like in my PFL draft, I really like this team, and even though we had 12 people drafting here, as I already said, I only got sniped twice basically, and these two snipes affected the same spot on the team, the electric type, so Zapdos and then Electabuzz. Overall I got everything I wanted. Not really my original plan, because while the draft continued I changed my draft plan so often. A lot of mons that I wanted and then dropped in my forts were drafted later, stuff like Jellicent, yeah, mostly Jellicent, which is why since I got Gastrin I wanted Bayonet as my ghost type. Yeah, it was just like in the PFL draft I wanted a completely new team, so all the mons I drafted so far in both my PFL drafts and in my JBA draft were free to go everywhere. And from our last season's JBA draft, kind of unfortunately only 3 or 4 mons made it to other teams, being Hitmonchan, Hippowdon and Ditto. So only 3 mons made it to other teams. Even when all the sticky web bug types were drafted, no one thought of our poor little Masquerain. But of course that means we don't have to meet our old teammates so often in this season. And yeah, this was way too long presenting you my draft for the JBA Season 2. Really excited to play a lot of matches. I'm looking forward to whatever place we make it in the end. I think at least one win should be there for us to pick up somewhere. And we have 4 divisions and only with 3 teams each, so of course only 1 team of each division can make it to the playoffs. Let's see if we can make it. Of course not if we get another losing streak like last season. And since you know from our last season, JBA is kind of the way the FC Seviper force spells bad luck. Yeah, we will see. So this was way too long, and I'll see you at our first match, which will be against the current champion of the JBA, the Westchester Rewilds, which we already faced twice last season. So peace out.